Hi, welcome to the garden again. And today it is day 9 of lighting the candles. And we have Dorothy Morgan, nhastrologer, here to talk with us and to share the ceremony with us. So I'm going to lower the camera down, light the candles. And today, this is the only time you'll see the candles because after this, I just let them burn down. So I'm going to light the candles. And I broke down and got two things. This thing rotates so I don't burn my hand reaching over candles. And I have my little lighter because there's not a match big enough to do these 9 candles, let me tell you.
Yeah, even the wooden ones get
yeah, I get a little
get down to the end and you're like, no, hurry.
Yeah, you try to get it done and it ain't working.
Yep.
And this is the 9th and the last candle. If it lights, it does. There it goes. Okay.
Awesome.
And you see the candles. That's my chrysanthemum stone, which is just a stone of joy. That white stuff in the middle is minerals that bubbled up through the middle of the black. And so if you shave through that, you just see more chrysanthemums. Okay. Now, as you know, I've asked you every day to join your energy with the energy of the candles because we're entering a new era. We're going we're going out into the world if we choose to, unmasked. And one of the questions I asked at the beginning of these 9 days is, are we going to put on the other masks we used to wear? Or are we going to learn from the healing process we've gone through? And as you know, I give each one of the light workers that's come to visit me a quote. And today, Dorothy's quote is, accomplish much by trying less. And how does that resonate with you, Dorothy?
For me, yeah, it takes practice. You know, it's one of those rituals when I find myself busy and just not even allowing break time, not even allowing relaxing on days when I don't have a lot of work, just to spend hours doing nothing. So I've spent my life pushing, right, and just work, and because I have good work ethic, being self-employed, you kind of have to be, especially in this world. But besides that, I mean, what I've discovered a lot, and even more recently as well, just on a deeper level, the less that you push, the more you can actually achieve and accomplish. Doesn't mean you don't sit and just wait for everything to land in your lap, because you still have to have, you still need to take action. But in the times, in the times when things are quiet and silent, it's important to allow that to be. So I've just, so when I see that and I find that I'm pushing too hard, I can tell, we can all tell, because, you're going to snap at those around you that you love, or you're just going to feel it. And so that's when it's time to say, wait, okay, where are my boundaries? And I got to do less. So to work with that piece. Yeah. So accomplish much by trying less. And that comes from the Tao. How do you put out Tao, the Tao? Lao Tzu wrote it. And a long time ago, there's 81 verses. And it's part of my current rituals.
Oh, cool. So that's what I was going to ask you, if you have rituals, because like we have the 9 candles, and I think sometimes people have rituals and they're not even really aware that they have them. They're just,
Yeah, the simplest thing, especially since I moved. I only moved April 3rd. So, and so to find, routines get kind of disrupted when you have to move, or even when you choose to move, they still get disrupted. And I'm finally settling into another morning routine. I had one before, but another morning routine. Because again, if I sit down at this computer, at this desk, first thing in the morning, it could be 5 in the morning, I'm going to start working. So, and then it could be 8 at night before I'm done, because I'll find stuff to do. So I'm again, new home, new place to live. Let's find something else to do. So I dug out this book. I'm going to show it to you in a second. I've had this book for years. I've read the whole thing once before, but where I rented the last time was for almost 6 years. This book, among the Webster Dictionary and a few others, was holding up my full-length mirror so I could, but underneath my nightstand, right in my bedroom.
Mhm.
And I finally unpacking all of the stuff recently. So here it is. It's Wayne Dyer, and
Mhm.
it's just about living the Tao. And I'm doing a verse a day. There's 81. And I'm doing a verse a day just for myself. And that's the first thing in the morning after the coffee pot gets turned on.
Mhm.
And then I just want to read it. And being an astrologer, my connection, honestly, my connection to everything is like I would read one of the verses and I'm like, wow, that's really Neptune, Pisces.
Mhm.
Jupiter has just moved into Pisces a few days ago. And that, that verse represents that. And what it means is just our connection to the all, our
Mhm.
spiritual connections and our abilities, whatever your clair is, whatever your psychic
Mhm.
ability or intuitive abilities, dream work, all of those things will amplify for a while, a good while,
Mhm.
for about 2 months while Jupiter's in and out, but then he comes back in
Yeah,
later. at
he's
the end of
doing
the
a tango with Pisces, isn't he? Dun, 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 for a month. Dun, 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 dun. I've had
I know.
I've had dated guys like that.
I did a big lecture Friday on it to an astrology group out in Chicago.
Mhm.
Loving Zoom these days. I don't have to travel to give lectures.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's wonderful. This energy. I mean, there's a lot of other things with it we don't need to get into today, but
Yeah.
one of the most positive things of Jupiter and Pisces hanging out where Neptune's in Pisces as well is really empowering our own, trusting in our own psychic abilities, intuitive abilities. Learn that the dream work is really big with that too.
Yeah.
um, and the belief, the belief in yourself, so that's one of the rituals I've just created. I mean, I did have something like that before, but it wasn't like the Tao. It was just, I'm going to read a personal book, because the only books I ever read are astrology books. I swear, when you pick up that bug of astrology, you can learn it the rest of your life. I've been doing it since 1988, and I'm still reading, I'm still learning, it just continues to expand. So it never ends. But when it comes to my client work, this is something that I do regularly. And I mean, I use cards too, but I'm mainly an astrologer, but I have no problem using, not a tarot person, but I tried to learn it. It wouldn't sink in.
Well, it's like me in astrology. Yeah. They're not, if it's square, it's crappy.
Yeah, that's not true.
Too simple. Too simple.
That's what you'll get. The squares create tension because sometimes we need pressure to change, because nobody likes change. And there's
Saturn's going station on square my natal sun Sunday.
okay. Well, he's already there, because he's
Yeah.
not moving at any
I
distance
know.
at all.
Yeah, they move very
over-
slowly out there.
So the hard work that you do, and the routine and the patterns and all of the hard work that you've been doing will slowly pay off. That's what that is. So when I see a client and I say, I always get information from them first, because I want to know what their main focus and questions are. So I need time to study their charts. But then I also will ask this deck, and this is a native spirit deck.
Oh.
I absolutely love this deck.
Denise Linn is a cool person.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
I mean, this is a deck I use for me. I'm not using it for my clients, but I will use it for the clients. Yeah, there she is. If you can see that. Yeah, there she is. So that's a great little book. So I'll just pull something.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I mean, I just absolutely love this deck. So besides knowing what the client wants, I can also say, what do I need to know that the client, what does their spirit really need? What did the spirit need to know, the person from the spirit, or owl medicine? That's
Oh,
about
cool.
being sage and wisdom, a lot of wisdom in this card, a lot of wisdom. So
You know,
that, so this means, it could mean numerous things. It could mean that they're Saturn.
mhm.
He's the Lord of time, the Lord of wisdom. You only gain wisdom with time. That does not come from anything except time. And or it could be that my wisdom needs to come through. Maybe it's a younger person, and I'm 60, almost 61, and maybe it's that. So, but then I feel it out. But that's one of the patterns. That's one of the things that I like to do almost all the time with client, not even new clients. I mean, all the clients, because I do this always, but every day we got something else going on.
That's true. And speaking of wisdom and dealing with new intuitions at this point in time, I've been reading out of Angelspeake, and I've been reading the 7 points for how to communicate with your angels. If you want to know the other ones, you have to go back 7 shows. Step 7 is trust. What we tell you, and this is the angels addressing the people they're speaking to, what we tell you is the best information we have at the time you receive it. We don't want to run your life. This is a guidance to speed you along and to teach you skills you will need to know for your own life's work. These are spiritual gifts, which everyone's emerging into, I feel, at this time. You did not have to do anything to get them. More will be given as you progress. Do not dissect it for accuracy. That's free will and different timetables create different patterns of what's happening in your life's currents. And this was the last message. And it says you're being asked by your angel for a little bit of time to trust in the process of speaking to them. And that's after they've taken you through the other steps. And I thought it was a good one to end the 9 candles on trust, because so much of what we're going to be going through in the near future is a matter of trust. I did do, Dorothy, for your edification, I did a 6-month reading out to December. And the reading was very much really wonderful things happening, a lot of stuff opening up. But there was this sense of pullback and grief and everyone looking over their shoulder, but why? There's that slow letting go to moving forward. And we just have to do that to move forward. And that happens with the planets. I've called Dorothy and asked her to tell her to pedal faster. The planets weren't moving quickly enough. She said, it don't work that way.
I know. Yeah. At the very, very end of July, Jupiter is retrograde before then, but at the very end of July, he moves back into Aquarius and will remain. This is like July 29th. Approximately, and it will remain in that sign until December 30th. So right now, while Jupiter is in Pisces, especially in a direct motion, there is a lot of expansion. This is everything opening up. But then when Jupiter starts its retrograde, I can't remember when that retrograde is. I'm going to look real quick. The retrograde is right around June 20th. At 2 degrees of Pisces, is still in Pisces, then things will slow down. By then, everything will be open for the most part. And then things will start to contract a little bit. Now, I don't know what that means. I mean, in each area, the country, countries, the globe, there's going to be different patterns. I want to say ramifications. I don't know, because if there's too much expansion, then there could be problems with that, and then we have to contract back. Now, I'm not saying that for the United States, because I actually don't feel that for the United States, but I would feel it for some of the other countries that are still continuing to have major problems with the virus.
The ones that can't. I was talking to a Canadian yesterday, and they're in lockdown till the first week of June. Total lockdown.
Really? I have not been watching. I had to.
And, it's so hard to keep up with all the different countries who are doing different things. In England, there have at least, it's 69% of their people have at least one shot in their adult population. So, and we're at we're in low 60s have one, maybe it's mid 60s have one shot and 40% have complete coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just become such a numbers game, and oh God, who wants to remember all that? But
Right.
anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to look back at these days and realize we lived through it.
Yep.
We accomplished a lot. And a lot of people are telling me, I don't know where you're running to when you're doing people's charts, but I'm getting a lot of people who are saying to me, I don't really want to go back out there. I really didn't like sitting in that office. I want to do things differently.
There's a
And
change now. Yeah, there is. That's one of the significant changes, I believe. Just like you were saying, I think that I mean, some people will need to, because that's
how they make a living.
But they realize how really deeply unsatisfying what they're doing is. And this is when, to me, this is a turning point. It will take some time, because fear drives a lot of that. Because if I'm not working and I'm finally back getting a paycheck, I'm not going to say I don't want this because it doesn't make me happy. I'm still going to do it. So it is fear driven, but this is a turning point. This is a tipping point. And I do believe that people are going to start to believe in themselves more and trust, like you said, trust that they can use their skills, their talents to do something that has more meaning to them. So I have been seeing that in a lot of clients as well. Yes, you're absolutely right. And so even if it looks like they're going back to their miserable jobs, I think there's enough awakening, even if they're not spiritual people, and you have to be, if you've recognized that there's this awakening. It's called the Great Awakening for a reason. That's Uranus, and Uranus is part of all of this too. And that Great Awakening for us to recognize and realize, it's like I've been asleep for a long time in this, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. When do I leave?
And all these people that lost themselves in patterns, and then all of a sudden the world just stopped, and those patterns had to be looked at, and they realized that's nothing I ever really chose. No. I programmed my own brain into doing that, and now I'm breaking the shells, I'm breaking the programs, I'm breaking out.
Yep.
I'm getting free.
Yeah.
Well, in closing, I'm going to pull from the Power of Surrender deck. It's what I've been pulling from every day. And these are really great cards. I tend to keep them around because they actually have a app you can put on your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so when I read people, I'll say, okay, I'm going to send you an oracle card. And they're like, huh? And I send it to them on their phone. And they're really good. And people don't like the term surrender, but it's a lot of the surrendering that they're having you do in this is very positive.
That's wonderful. That's what Neptune, Pisces, the sign of Pisces is surrender.
And we got surrender to success.
Oh, yes. And that's so perfect.
Yes.
That's so perfect, Nancy Jean, for accomplish much by trying less.
Right. And it says, take a few deep breaths, exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back out to your own center.
Nice.
So that's
3 deep breaths.
Surrender stress. And so I want to thank everyone who's been here. I want to talk about the fact that by being around when we lit the first candle, that I hope it ignited just a little flicker, if nothing else, of you getting the energy to move forward. In the Chinese tradition, when you invite fire into your home through the flame of the candle, you're inviting energy in. And I think we're going to need a lot of energy to go through what we're going to have to go through. And as one woman that's a friend of mine said, I'm going to need a lot of energy to get out of these sweatpants and fit back into clothes.
That's really true.
Yeah. Well, but
I like all the stretchy pants now.
I know. Aren't they fashionable?
They look like jeans.
I haven't been in a clothing store in so long. What can I say? But thank you, Dorothy, for being here.
Thank you. I love being here. It's wonderful.
All the people who came through as light workers, all the people who came through every day and have been writing me wonderful comments and suggestions. And as always, like, share, please share this, because this is some people go back. If they weren't here day one, it's in my playlist, and you
Yep.
can playlist out the days and get a chance to see it all and decide, what because it really is a time. This is going to be the last time we're going to have a chance to take our breath. I have a feeling things are going to start to speed up again, and then it's going to be a matter of, do I have the discretion to know what I really want to do?
Yeah. And you can watch the astrology on my YouTube channel.
That's
So
true.
Dorothy Morgan, astrologer.
Dorothy Morgan, and there's a whole
Right.
lot going on, guys. It's really,
Mhm.
I know
I
they're
do
not, the
forecast
planets
readings
aren't all
like this.
bumping into each other, but they're moving around in ways. And I love
Mhm.
Dorothy's readings because she reads about how it affects you. I realize, there's the US chart and all that stuff. She'll talk about that sometime, but honest to God, it's you. And I have, I've had her personally do my own chart. I've also have it. That's another thing. I have a phone app. I've got a phone in my chart. So anyway, I want to say thank you to Dorothy for being here. I want to thank everyone who's made it through the 9. And if it just tripped into it and it interested you, go back to the beginning. And I would really tell you, though, the best way to do this is to pull it out and do it once a day, to do through the 9, because it really can bring in change, and it gives you time to have that change come gradually into you. And with that, I send you blessings, and I will be seeing you later next week. Bye-bye.